Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Hanson here, and today I'm going to show you guys how to deploy your Discord PyBot or any Discord bot written in Python to Heroku. It's going to be a very, very easy tutorial, so let's go ahead and get started. Before we do anything, we do need to make sure we have a couple things. One, you need to make sure you have Git installed, because we're going to actually use Heroku by default actually uses Git regardless if you were deploying to GitHub anyways. So you want to make sure you have Git installed. And make sure you have a GitHub account, and after that, obviously make sure you have Heroku and a Heroku account as well. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So go over to Heroku. We're gonna create a new application. Create a new app. We're gonna PyBot 111, or just do -1 Okay. United States is gonna be our region. We're gonna click Create App. We're gonna select. For deployment method, we're going to select GitHub. So here we're going to create a new repository. We're going to create, let's see, PyBots, and we're going to say private. So that way no one can actually see our repository. We're going to click Create Repository now. And next, I'm going to type in the repository name that I just created. It's going to pop up like that. And I'm going to select Enable Automatic Deploys. So that way every single time I push my commits to the remote repository, it'll just automatically build our bot for us, or our application for us. So let's do that, and we don't have to worry about anything else. Oh, go over to settings and make sure you have add build pack set to Python. All right, so now I'm going to clone our repository that we just created to our desktop. So I just cloned this repository. Okay. So it basically creates an empty folder with a .git. I shouldn't say create an empty folder. It basically creates a folder with all the files that are currently in the repository with the .git folder. Okay. So, but don't worry too much about that though. We're gonna cd into PyBot because that's the name of our folder. See, it has the .git. It has a .git folder in there. Okay. So what we're going to do now is we're going to write some code. We have everything set up already. Our application is connected to GitHub, and we have our deploy method, so that's all good to go. And we have our settings all good to go as well. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead into my text editor, and I'm going to go ahead and create a bot file. So I have some pre-written code already. I'm just going to copy and paste it in there. So you might be wondering, what is this import OS? Okay, so basically you don't want your token lying around in your source file. Let me actually show an example real quick. So let me go ahead and copy my token. So if I do something like this, obviously this is going to work, right? If I do nodemon bot.py, my bot's going to be logged in, right? You can see my bot is logged in right now. But obviously this is not, this is so unsafe. Someone can easily look at your code and they could just get your token and they could log into your bot and do whatever they want with your bot. Okay, so what we're gonna do though is Heroku actually has environment variables, which is great. So you're gonna go over to settings. You're gonna click on reveal config vars. So we can actually set environment variables so that way we can actually reference them and use them in our application. So I'm gonna set one. I'm gonna call it token, or I'm gonna call it Discord underscore token, and I'm gonna paste in the bot token as the value. Okay, so Discord underscore token is the name of our environment variable, and it has the value of our bot token. I'm gonna click add, and what we're gonna do next is we're going to need to reference that environment variable. So that way, that's the reason why we need to import OS, short for operating system. So we're gonna say OS, the environ brackets, and then single quotes or double quotes, and we're going to type Discord underscore token because that's the name of the environment variable that I set over here in the config vars. Okay, and we should be good to go. Obviously this is not going to work anymore, so we're going to exit that. So the next two things we want to make sure we have is the first thing is the requirements.txt file. So this .txt file actually tells Heroku all of the dependencies that your app is using. In this case, the only dependency that our app is using is Discord. So we're going to type in the name of the module, which is Discord. Okay. If you're using MySQL, right? If you're using the MySQL connector for Python, you would type MySQL-connector. Right? But we're not using that, so we don't have to worry about that. Okay. So that requirements.txt is done. we're going to go and create a proc file. The proc file is important because this is going to keep our bot running 24/7. All you need to do is just type this, worker colon python bot.py. Now this bot.py is actually the main entry point of your bot, right? This is where we're logging in. Okay, if you named the bot.py, instead it was called app.py, you would do worker colon python app.py. Okay, so hopefully that makes some sense, and I think we are all good to go with our code. We can now actually push our code to GitHub and deploy. So what we're going to do is we're going to stage all of our modified changes. So to do that, we're going to say git add dots. So that stages all 3 of our modified files. We're going to commit those 3 files, and we're going to do -m and write a simple message. We're going to say building bot. Okay, so right now you can see on our remote repository we have nothing, but once I push, right, just like that, git push, it's going to push our code to the repository, and you can see our token is not exposed. If someone were to see this, it's not exposed. So I can actually public this if I want to, but I'm not going to. So now if you go over to Heroku, you can see that latest activity, you can see something like build in progress, right? Now this is going to take a couple minutes, but if you actually look at the build progress, you can actually see what's going on in the build log. So it installs a couple of, it's going to install the Discord dependency soon. See, notice how it says collecting Discord, and it collects all the dependencies that Discord uses, or the one that Discord provides when you automatically install. Okay, and you can see that everything is all good to go. Deploy to Heroku, and if we go over to overview, we need to make sure we have our dynos configured. Which it doesn't seem like it's there yet. Might need to give it a couple seconds. We can also go over to our logs and look at the application logs. It's kind of similar to like the terminal. But okay, so now if we go back here, now that our build is succeeded, over here the dyno formation. Right now, remember how we have that proc file, right? That proc file earlier. Over here, worker python bot.py. Notice how it says worker python bot.py over here as well. If you don't have that proc file, this won't pop up. But you want to make sure this worker proc file, this worker dyno is configured. You want to make sure you have this set to on. So click on this little pencil icon, the edit icon. Click that, and this means it's on. And it doesn't cost any money. Click confirm. Now, if you go over to view logs, you're going to see that your bot is going to actually log in. So if you don't have that worker part set up, if you don't have that worker turned on, your bot is not going to log in. And notice how it says bot is ready, okay? And our bot is online. Perfect, just like that, okay? That's pretty much it. Now, what if we wanted to make some changes to our bot, right? Well, let's say, for example, because right now our bot doesn't do anything. If I go ahead and if I type something like, you know, hello, our bot's not going to do anything. Right, so let's go ahead and make it do something. So if you wanted to make some changes to your bot, all you do is let's just say async def on message, and just take in that message parameter. Say if message.author.bot return else await message.channel send hello there. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing. Since we modified our file, we're going to need to deploy our bot again. So we're going to say git add dot. Now you could actually just do git add bot.py because we only made changes to bot.py, but I'm used to doing git add dot. Okay, so that will again stage all of the modified changes. Sometimes you don't want to stage certain files that you changed, but that's okay for now. We're going to write a commit message, and I'm going to say handling message events git push. So that's going to create another deployment, and you're going to see just in a second in the application log it's going to change just a bit. So you can see we have 2 commits, and this should yep, build started by user, and that's my email. If you go over to overview, you're going to see build in progress. Okay, and it usually takes about like 10 seconds. So every single time you build the app again, it's going to install all the dependencies. It's going to always look in that requirements file and look at all the dependencies that you need. Okay, so well, actually I think everything was already on our our app already, so we actually don't need to reinstall it. So I think that's all good. So our worker is on. Let's go over to view logs. Bot is ready. Okay, so our bot is logged in again, as you can see. Let's just say hello. And notice how this is from our Pokecord. But notice how our bot is actually saying something now. And because I actually updated that from, a few seconds ago, that's the updated code. Hello. And then it responds like that, just like that. And that's pretty straightforward. And if you wanted to make more changes, you can do so as if you're, as normal. Every single time you make a change, you need to make sure you stage your changes by doing git add and the name of the file, right? And if you don't really care, you can just do git add dots. But again, I highly recommend learning git. It's really cool. Just do git add dot and then do git commit -m, right? And then you have to do quotes, and you're going to type some commit message, and you're going to press enter, and after you commit the message, you're going to do git push, and that will push your code to the repository. And if you have automatic deployments set up, it will just automatically deploy everything for you. And you also should look at your logs, so that way it can tell you if your build succeeded or not. Okay, so hopefully this all made some sense. And if you have any questions, join my Discord server. I usually am checking the Discord server all the time, so just go over there. We have channels that you can just post all your questions on, and yeah, definitely check it out. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace.